So you're talking about some of the songs like Broken Dreams being a really pretty melody and all. Um, Most of the songs that we see that are out there, and whether it's on CD, compact disc, or wherever you want to buy the music, it seems like the majority of it is the more, like you said, popular stuff. It wasn't really a lot of his pretty songs for the most part. About how many, as far as percentages of songs, what do you think he wrote was really a lot of the prettier songs like that? Like,
I'd say probably half of them.
yeah.
That's what he liked, or the more old kind of sentimental type love songs.
Because we know some were gospel,
Yeah, later
uh,
on he wrote.
like Silent Prayer,
Yeah, my
or
mom
that
actually
was.
wrote the words to Silent Prayer. My dad
Mhm.
put the music to it, and then my uncle Alvin wrote a song called "Jesus Is My Friend."
And
And we did that when I was a little kid. Benny has his recording studio. We recorded.
some of my favorites are also some of the cowboy songs that he had. And there's
Yeah,
a couple of those that were pretty. I
yeah. He
think
wrote.
today they're still pretty
Yeah, he
popular.
wrote two of them. One called "Down the Trail," and then he wrote another song I really liked.
Yeah.
It wasn't popular at all, but it's called "Across the Great Divide." And a guy never knew him, named Hamilton O'Malley wrote the words, and Daddy wrote the music to it. It's a great song, tells the story about a cowboy dying on the range and all, and uh, you know, it's not a dance song thing like that. I always just thought it was a neat song. Great message to it.
Now, did your dad dance at all?
No, not intentionally. No, no, he never
Not unless he was
designed.
part of the act.
No, never saw him dance or tried to.
What kind of quirks did he have, or
What kind of quirks did he not have?
or was he just one big quirk?
He, I'm going on 80 years old. He's the most unique person I've ever known in my life. Clyde had said the same thing too, and Clyde knew a lot of musicians, and he said, and I agree. My dad's the funniest human being we've ever known, and never tried to be funny. Never tried to be hilarious. Um, the biggest character Clyde said he ever knew was a guy named Smokey Woods, great musician, totally different story. But Daddy was just funny. People would come to the house, just hang out and watch him, and he's going to do something funny. Not never trying to be funny. You could tell my daddy the funniest joke, and he's ha ha ha. But he'd see some old man slip down and fall, and it'd crack him up. That's funny now to him. Kind of like what slapstick comedy.
Hmm.
That he thought that kind of stuff was funny, but he was hilarious, and I never tried to be.
Who would you, if you could compare him to someone that we know, who would you compare him to if there's anybody like
The
that?
closest, and it's Inspector Clouseau, the Pink Panther. If anybody liked Inspector Clouseau and how funny he was, and he was, but my daddy was funnier than Clouseau. Like Clouseau never tried to be funny. My daddy never tried to be funny. And it seemed like nothing ever worked out for Clouseau. Same with my daddy. He got into all kind of scrapes. It's funny trying to see himself trying to get out of it. But great guy, like I say, just a funny man, and never tried to be.
Well, as far as some of the stories, I mean, some of the funny stories that we could probably talk about. Um, Obviously, his directions weren't that great close to home, but he had great directions downtown,
That's a
right?
crazy thing. Yeah, you could take him downtown Houston, you couldn't lose him. But he lived at the last house he lived in, 4318. No, that's Littleberry. 5013 Lillian Street. Lillian Street was through 3 blocks from Shepherd and Durham Drive, 3 blocks. So our daddy started going to West End Baptist Church, where we all ended up going later. We come out of our house, street in front of us, Lillian, go down Lillian, 3 blocks, it goes straight into the church, big, huge church. Daddy started going down there before me and Mama did. And so he goes to church one morning and about lunchtime, and he wasn't there. Mama said, better go find your daddy. I go down there, and all the cars are gone. Church had been long gone a long time. I see him coming from the other direction, got his coat on his shoulder. I said, where have you been? He said, I went the wrong direction down around Wall Drive somewhere. That happened to him 2-3 times. So finally, about the third or fourth time, he goes to church. We're sitting there, and about 20 minutes later, he comes back. And Mama said, what are you doing home? Well, he said, I got to sitting there thinking about getting lost. I figured I may as well just get it over with. And that was him.
So, what other stories? I believe you have a drive-in movie story,
Man,
and if
I
you
don't know that I could even explain that one. You have to have been there. Molly, my niece, Clyde's oldest daughter, was there, and she saw it. We went to a drive-in theater with my brother Clyde. He's in the front seat. His wife at the time in the front seat to his right. Me and Mama. I guess Molly was in the front. She's a little girl. Me and Mom and Daddy's in the back seat. So Daddy had to go to the bathroom. And so he'd been gone a little while. And Mama said, better go check on your daddy. And he never, nothing embarrassed him. He couldn't find the car. And I saw him, and he's sticking his head in cars. Look at Velma. People, get away from here. And I said, Daddy, we're back over here. So Clyde had a 2-door car where to get in the back seat, you take the front seat and lean it forward, and then you get in the back seat and sit down. Well, Daddy didn't want to interrupt this movie. It was a Jerry Lewis movie that Clyde had seen before. And the funniest part was coming up. Daddy didn't want to interrupt the movie. He blew the movie away. So he gets in, and my sister-in-law, she leans forward. And so normally you would take your head in first like that, and then not Daddy. He put his feet in first. Now his head is outside the car, and shut the door. Now his feet and legs are inside the car. He's sitting on the window part with his body and everything up above the car like this, and then like an astronaut. And he was not. Tried to get himself all the way down. And Clyde says, forget the movie. We just fell out. But you'd had to have been there. Of course, we didn't help him any. We were not going to help him.
No, everybody's just nudging each other. Hey, watch this.
Don't ruin this. Just let him go on.
Yeah, watch this. Don't help him. Just let him do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, as far as some of the other stories, I know you had mentioned, and these are ones that you were with him. So I wanted you to tell some of these, like the bus, when he's on the bus, I guess, and you're on there trying to get you to sing and entertain people.
He would do that to me, and he'd do that with Clyde. We didn't have a car until Clyde got old enough to drive. He didn't have one. So every place we went was on a city bus. Well, you get on a bus or a train. I never did on a train, Clyde did. You get on there, and all these people you don't know, and Dad said, all right, let's sing. We'll sing so-and-so, always wanted his song. He said, you sing the lead, and I'll sing the harmony. I said, Daddy, no, sing the song. You have to sing the song to shut him up. Man, I'm embarrassed about that. Clyde did not embarrass him at all. At any time, anywhere, you sing it. And if you get on the bus with him, if there's a seat way in the back, away from him, you go back there, get away from him. Yeah. But even then, he's, hey, come up here, let's sing. Oh, come on, man.
So he always rode the bus, and I think there was another story about him riding out the bus and ending up in a ditch out in Ramsey.
Yeah, we'd go visit our folks, his brother and sister live in this place called Ramsey. We'd always take a Greyhound bus. And it's old Highway 90 then. And so what the bus driver would always do, you'd pull up in front of where the little road goes down to the house over here. He'd just pull off the right side of the road, and you get off the bus, and the bus would pull away. And me and Daddy, Mom, we'd walk across the road, the Highway 90, across the gravel road, across the railroad tracks, and then to the gate and into the house. Well, from the road before the railroad track was a big, deep, wide ditch. And so me and Mama, for some reason, were already up there, and Daddy was going to come up later. So he came up on a night, it had been raining. Well, what the bus driver wanted to do to help my dad, instead of pulling off the right to let him out, he just pulled over to the left side, already be across Highway 90, which wasn't very busy. traffic was. Daddy didn't know that. So the bus pulls off and stops, pulls away, and my mama said to my uncle, y'all better go find him. So my uncle's got a flashlight. So we get out there, close. We can't find him. My uncle said, Shelly, where are you? He said, over here, Alvin. He said, where, Shelly? He said, I'm in this ditch. He said, and his head bob up every now and then. And of course, he had the fiddle in one hand, his briefcase in the other one. And he said, what are you doing in the ditch, Shelly? He said, how in the blank should I know I'm in this ditch? Just get me out of here. So we had to get him out of the ditch, find him, get him into the house. But that was funny.
Now, hold on.